This is Chunk Yanille. I spent 1,000 hours completing every possible task in Yanille, but now I'm exploring the world one chunk at a time. New chunks bring new challenges, but ever since leaving Yanille, I've been able to avoid those multi-100-hour mega grinds. Until now. I'm gonna need to find a way to make the next 300 hours count, otherwise this grind could be the end of Chunk Yanille. Welcome back to the only one chunk man with level 70 fire making. Don't check me on that, just trust me, very rare level. I'm currently only 5 levels away from completing a pretty huge chunk task and the second to last on the list for the brand new chunk we rolled last episode, the Sorcerer's Tower, accessed through the portals in Yanille. Last time we completed one of the 3 big tasks here, getting 75 woodcutting to chop down magic trees, putting a tiny dent in the massive grind that is this chunk. Having access to these trees will be huge for some future upgrades, but right now I'm just a few levels away from completing another task. 75 fire making to burn these logs. I'm probably about 30 hours deep into fire making at this point, and I'm gonna work on finishing this up as soon as possible so we can get to the final task, the huge monster mega grind that is 87 fletching. To fletch every single thing that you possibly can with a magic log, including a magic shield, which requires level 87. But that's for later. Right now, we're fire making over here at picturesque North Feldup, everybody's favorite fire making spot, featuring beloved background character Random Cabbage. In a shocking turn of events, 71 fire making. So I know I just said I'm 30 hours in, but it's taken me until now to realize that this grind has the potential to progress the account in some massive, unexpected ways, and one of those is actually clue scrolls. Woodcutting is actually a great source of clue scrolls from all the clue nests that randomly fall out as you chop, and the rewards for completing them could majorly impact the trajectory of the account. So maybe this is ambitious, but I kinda wanna see if I can complete a clue or two by the time I'm done with these grinds. A clue casket is the only way for me to get a bow, which is really kind of ironic as I'm about to spend literally hundreds of hours fletching in this episode, but I don't have bowstrings to actually use anything I fletch. I just grabbed the clue scrolls I had out of my bank, and I'm gonna keep them on the ground near me while I woodcut. As a quick reminder, clue scrolls usually require you to complete multiple steps in a row, which is typically impossible for a restricted account like a one chunk man. And you're only supposed to have one at a time. But as I showed in some previous episodes, by leaving your clue scrolls on the ground, you can get multiple and they work as a collective. So 3 steps on 1 clue is the same as doing 1 step on 3 clues. So gather enough clues with 1 step that you can complete and you've got a clue casket. But the only catch is that you have to make sure your clues on the ground don't disappear. They have a 60-minute timer that restarts every time you drop them, so just don't forget to pick them up and put them back down every hour, which we call clue juggling. Easy enough, right? Right? And there you go, beginner clue nest on the ground already. These ones, I have 1 doable step, but there are also a few... Okay, no way, no. Another clue, and... No, stop! This cannot happen again. If you remember a few episodes ago, I was trying to do basically the same thing, juggling beginner clues, and I kept getting this step, which I could do, it's in my chunk, but I can't get a spade to dig, like it was taunting me. Okay, this is not even funny anymore. This is literally like 5 minutes later. This is the next clue. But you know what? I am gonna be keeping these just in case we get a spade in the next chunk. For the record, this is the clue that I'm looking for, the 1 step I can actually do. Talk to Archmage Cedrador at the Wizard's Tower. 72 fire making. These levels are taking quite a few hours each at this point, but honestly, that's gonna feel like nothing when I'm grinding to 87 fletching. Still, this is getting pretty tedious.
Hey.
Whoa, a talking bear.
No, it's me, the narrator.
Oh, why is there a narrator now?
Because I need to tell you something. You seem bored, right?
I guess you could say that.
Okay, check this out.
Ow! What? I'm bored, so you hit me with a book?
Not just any book. That's The System Apocalypse by Tao Wong, a lit RPG series that combines science fiction, fantasy, and get this, game mechanics.
A book with game mechanics?
Yeah, okay, so you know how you have like health and stats and stuff?
Yeah?
Now imagine a world with none of that.
So it's like all safe and boring?
Yeah, but then one day, boom, all of a sudden, it does have all that stuff. Abilities and mana and quests.
I'm confused. It does or it doesn't have?
Just read the book.
Okay, I see. So this guy, John, he's trying to survive after his world gets transformed by the system? What's the system?
It's pretty much a mystical energy wave that destroys electronics and grants game-like powers to humanity.
And now there's monsters spawning everywhere? Dude, he's way under-leveled for the zone he's in. There's no way he lives.
Yeah, well, he's only like level 1 right now, and he hasn't even figured out how to use his abilities yet.
Look, I would love to read this, but I've got like 300 hours of grinding to do, so...
I know, that's why I'm here. You can listen to the entire 12-book series on Audible right now by using the link in the description. That should keep you covered during your grind. They're even read by award-winning narrator Nick Podell.
12 books? I wonder what level John is by the end. Dude must be maxed.
You're just gonna have to head to Audible to find out. Link in the description. Thanks again to The System Apocalypse for the sponsor.
73 fire making, and what do you know? Cabbage, it's still there. You literally just cannot make this up. You can't make this up. I think I've probably gotten maybe 10 clue nests, maybe 10. Half of them are this one clue that literally is just haunting me. What the hell? 74, one more level, and oh, what's that lurking in the corner? Oh, cabbage. He scared me there. Here's a beautiful clip where you can see me gracefully misclicking clan wars instead of castle wars, expertly teleporting out of my chunk, and once again ruining my account with more illegal music tracks. No, what? Yes, finally. Oh, it's the right one. The one beginner clue step that I actually can do. That's actually genuinely very exciting. I promise I'll shut up about clues because it's really not what we're doing right now, but there is still so much to be gained from beginner clues at this point. It's hard to describe just how useful that would be to the account in so many different ways. Such a great side benefit from this whole thing. Here we go. Literally one more XP remaining for this level. There it is, 75 fire making, the level to burn magic logs. Let's go. That looks so good. Oh, that feels so good, but something just feel like it's missing from this picture, right? Was it? Oh, there you are. Okay, cabbage, yeah. All right, this was a grueling final stretch, but we did it, we made it, and there's still so much ahead, but this one was just so much clicking. I'm ready for some significantly more chill fletching content in the future. If you missed it last time, this is how I get to the new chunk, through this portal in the Wizards Guild. Just have to remember to go through the right portal, not that that would be a challenge for me or anything. And here we go for the chunk task. Let's get one of these logs and burn it. It is a little bit disappointing that this level doesn't really unlock or change anything. Like, a fire made from an oak log or a magic log do pretty much the same thing, but that is just the nature of the account. Let's do it either way. Burn those magic logs. I'll look them on the ground. Let's go. Chunk task completed. I guess this means it's time to switch gears and focus entirely on fletching, which there's going to be quite the plan to, so I say we jump into it. To put this into perspective, let me break down some math for you, just to explain what we're up against here. Fire making from 30 to 75 took a little more than 40 hours, doing about 30,000 experience per hour, ending at 1.2 million total XP. To reach level 87 fletching, we'll need 3.9 million total XP at a rate of about 15,000 XP per hour on a good day. So 3 times the XP at half the rate. This grind could legitimately break me. Seriously, this is going to take some extreme commitment, and it may potentially require some creative problem solving, but we'll get to that in a sec. We can start things off with this level here, 60 fletching. Pretty nice starting place for this grind. But I do have a couple of other ideas I want to try out before we just get stuck into fully just chopping and fletching. So let's go check out some of those right now. You may be wondering why we're running down back to the jungle where we spent last episode catching a whole bunch of hunter creatures, and if you look at my inventory, you might be able to get a bit of a sense of it. I have a whole bunch of fletching materials banked from a variety of activities in the past. Some arrowheads, some bolts, some arrow shafts, but the thing I'm actually the shortest on is the feathers themselves. Now, if you didn't know this, you can actually use the feathers you get from catching these tropical birds to fletch arrows just like normal feathers. So I figured I would come down here, do some fletching, and catch some birds at the same time. There's only one other source of feathers in my entire area on all of my chunks, and that is one chicken in the basement of Wizard's Tower. There's only one chicken down there. Otherwise, I would be doing this down there.
there only one chicken down? No.
There we go, level 61 off the feathers alone. Every level feels like it counts a lot at this point. Hopefully there's still a lot of XP to get out of these arrow tips now. This also seems like a really good way to train Hunter in the future if I need to do more of that. I do kind of regret not catching more birds, as I knew it might come in handy if I had to do a fletching grind, and obviously I do. In an incredibly stunning feat of efficiency, there is 62 fletching, using the bird snare, fletching, arrowhead, feather gathering, whatever. Doing whatever I'm doing. Thank you, Count. Check. This lamp is level 4 Slayer. And yeah, there's absolutely no way we're getting another level with these bronze arrow tips, but I have a couple of other weird ideas. One thing I got from the fishing trawler grind was a ton of oysters. I have about 700 of them. Some of these can be opened to find some pearls, and we can chisel these into tips and what? 3 and 4 XP at a time. Yeah, I don't really know if this is worth it, but it is funny, and I think I will do it because why not? And here go the last of the pearls. This was probably the stupidest way I have spent an hour in a very long time. Probably got like 2,000 XP, but I just wanted to have these. But it appears I've run out of clever ideas. So I suppose that means it's time to stop stalling and literally just get to chopping and fletching. That's what we want to do here. Let's get to it. While I get settled into the heart-pounding excitement that is fletching for 300 hours, I've been going back through some old comments on my videos, and it reminded me of a fun Yanille fact that I think now is the perfect time for. We all know that Yanille has the Wizards Guild, or is it the Magic Guild? But did you know that Yanille used to have another guild in it back in the day? Yep, it had 2 guilds, but not officially. Let me explain. Back when I first started doing my fun facts, I got a few comments mentioning the unofficial fletching guild of World 132. They claimed it was a player-organized guild in the Yanille Bank where, presumably, players would fletch together. I kind of dismissed this as just something a few people did with their friends back then, but with this fletching grind, I decided to do some digging and it turns out they were right. The Yanille Fletching Guild of World 132 is in fact a well-documented institution of the early days of Runescape. Apparently, people would not only gather here for some camaraderie while grinding to 99 fletching, but it was also a place to buy and sell fletching supplies. This Reddit post talks about a sort of economy where fletchers would trade their fletched bows for raw materials to train at no loss. As someone who never got that far back in the day, I hadn't heard of this until I saw the comments you guys left, but I always love learning about player-invented social systems. It's really the thing that makes MMO games special, and I wish we had more of this still left in OSRS. It's why I have so much fun whenever I get to involve you guys, the community, in my grinds. Anyway, as I keep training here, I'll try to keep the spirit of the World 132 Fletching Guild alive. It's simply too much. It's 63 fletching, normally a very important level for Iron Men, but for me, the only thing I can say right now is that this is insanely slow. I'm worried about the future of this grind. 65 fletching. We could make U short bows, man. It is kind of too bad to see all of these fun milestones go by and not be able to interact with them at all. The fact that I don't have U logs is really kind of a shame. 69 fletching.
Nice.
Okay, I was getting really bored with the fletching grind, and one thing that I just remembered is that I have this weird young vine that is used in the Eagle's Peak quest to enter this cave, and I'm not sure if I can climb it without starting the quest, so I want to try it out. I know you use a teasing stick on it. Well, that worked. Apparently this thing takes about an hour to grow, so I'll come back after an hour and see if I can climb it up into this cave. Whoa, that is super weird. I just got this message randomly. I guess I should go back and look at my vine. Will this take me in? Let's find out, please, please. Yo, I'm in here. What? I mean, there's nothing in here. I know this is used in the Eagle's Peak quest, but I thought there might be a little more in here than just a completely empty room. But at least it's not fletching. something different. By the way, I have a goal of hitting 100,000 subscribers this year in an attempt to live up to the unreasonable expectations placed on me by myself and others. If that sounds like the kind of thing you're into, consider subscribing. Thanks. And that is a big one, 80 wood cutting. Very nice milestone to see, and as you can tell, I'm somewhere different. I reran my numbers, and I was just being totally stupid. Willows are by far the better choice for XP per hour, so we're going to stick it out here for quite a while. I think this is where I'm going to do most of this grind. Thinking about getting logs faster actually made me think of another idea of how to speed this up in general, because I really need to make sure I can get this video out to you. I'd heard of a way you can speed up woodcutting, so I started looking into it to see if it's possible, and it turns out I think it is, but only through a very weird set of circumstances. So it's time to dive into one of the deepest rabbit holes of RuneScape, tick manipulation. For longtime players, tick manipulation may seem like a simple concept, but for the uninitiated, it definitely warrants an explanation. To give you a sense of what we're talking about here, tick manipulation looks like this, and this, and this. You may be saying, what? They click on a thing in the inventory and then on a rock, and why do they have a, whatever. Look, it's weird, so listen up. To start talking about tick manipulation, we need to start with the first part, ticks. RuneScape runs on what we call ticks, which are basically the speed at which the game processes your inputs, and these ticks happen 100 times a minute, aka once every 0.6 seconds. They control everything, how you move, when you attack, literally everything in the game runs on this system. Ticks are also how the game spaces things out, like weapon swings, which are usually 4 or 5 ticks apart, or things like woodcutting, where you have a chance to get a log every 4 ticks, or every 2.4 seconds. It's why spam clicking a tree doesn't really do anything. There's a 4-tick delay built in between you clicking and you getting a log. Well, normally. This is where we get to the manipulation part. What these players are doing in these bizarre looking clips is they've found a way to skip part of that delay by interrupting a different action with clicking on a tree or a rock, which for whatever reason skips that initial delay. This is amazing for long-term skilling, as it speeds up the chance of getting a log from every 4 ticks to every 3 ticks, a 25% increase. So to recap, tick manipulation is done by starting one action from your inventory and then immediately canceling it by clicking on the thing you actually want. For instance, a tree to get logs, thereby speeding up the whole process. One problem though, that first part, the inventory action, can only be done with a very select handful of items. You can see most players using tar and an herb, neither of which I have, while some other people use logs. I do have logs, but you need specifically teak or mahogany logs. Don't ask me why, it just doesn't work with other types of logs. And you may have noticed that I don't have any teak or mahogany trees anywhere in any of my chunks, making this basically impossible. Unless sitting right on the border of one of my chunks is something that may just make this possible for me, representing a huge increase in efficiency. I have been sitting on this idea for like 6 months, but I'm still not sure if it's possible. Way back here in the Gnome Maze, there's a level 92 tortoise, which is an insanely weird NPC. It attacks with all 3 combat styles and has a bizarre drop table with a ton of weird stuff, including, yep, teak and mahogany logs. Obviously, it is not in my chunk, but that's okay, because I think I can attack it with magic and then melee it down if everything goes as planned. Okay, wind strike. All right, now I need to lure it over. Okay, this is promising, this is promising. Can I walk through here? No, oh, but I can get him over here. Okay, please tell me I can attack this guy. Yes, let's go. Okay, he seems to just be meleeing. No, okay, there's a little bit of magic. This is the original Tribrid monster. The Gnome Riders will attack with either melee, ranged, or magic. I guess I should probably just pray magic because my defense against the other two seem to be totally fine for this. With my sick best in slot gear that I have not worn in quite a while. First kill. Oh. 50 noted cabbages? What? And then after you kill the tortoise, the guys just start attacking you? I don't think they have any drops. I wonder when the last time somebody actually attacked these things was. And these guys are really not happy about it when I kill their tortoise that they apparently named Dobby. Man, this thing is so weird. Look at this. I have to telegraph it, but the tortoise shell. What is this for? What do you do with this thing? Who has picked one of these up in like the last decade? Okay, this is one of the things I was hoping to find. This is such a weird drop. Pink robe bottoms? What? Why do they drop this? Also, it turns out you don't even get XP for killing these gnomes that spawn when you kill it, so that's also a weird thing. Oh yeah, we also got some toad crunchies. Nothing about this thing can just be normal. Hey, we're putting the whole outfit together. Pink robe top and bottom. To be clear, these are both less than a 1% drop from the tortoise, so we got kind of lucky getting these, although still no logs. Yo, there we go, the teak logs. Yes, yes, let's grab these. Telekinetic grab, got 4 teak logs. Oh, that is so perfect, dude. That means I can mess up a lot. Yes, we can get out of here. Okay, logs acquired. I guess we can try to do some tick manipulation now. So I've never actually done this before, but I think this should work by me basically using the knife on the teak logs, taking a step, and then swinging my axe at the willow tree. I'm not sure if that's gonna be the case. Never done this before, and the fact that I have 4 logs means that I have 4 chances to mess this up, so this might be one of those chances. It's not working. Hey, that's how it's supposed to look. I think I want to practice on this oak tree real quick where I have better chances at getting a log every roll just to make sure I know that I'm doing it right. But the method should be use, step, chop, use, step, chop. Yeah, use, step, chop. You can see the issue I may run into, which is if I let my character actually fletch the teak log, that's gonna be a problem. It doesn't really work after that. Oop, yep. Just like that, accidentally fletched the teak stalk. That's exactly what I didn't want to do. I guess I'm glad I have some backups. Also, it turns out you don't have to step to do this for this method, so that's one less click I have to do. I can just click between the log and the knife and the tree. I will say that is the one downside of tick manipulation, that you're clicking about 1,000,000 times more than when you do normal wood cutting. So it's not the kind of thing I can do 100% of the time. Despite just getting that tick manipulation, I have been AFKing all day, and there is 70 fletching. Oh man, this is gonna take a long time. Ugh, I misclicked again, and there we have another teak stock. Man, that sucks. But man, when it works, it looks so good. Oh, seeing willow logs that fast is so satisfying, man. Now that I feel like I've got the hang of this tick manipulation, there's one more thing that could make this even better. I said earlier that clue scrolls were one of the ways this grind could massively progress the account, but there's another one, and it's maybe even bigger. A way to make a future death chunk into a breeze. And that thing is forestry. Now, if you're the type of person who's either never heard of forestry or never interact with it, and whenever somebody brings it up, your brain shuts off and just becomes pure radio static, well, you'd be a lot like me. Forestry is basically an expansion to the woodcutting skill released in 2023, and I just haven't been able to get myself to give a about it yet. It seems way overcomplicated and has been changed about 1,000 times since release, and I'd rather just ignore it. But every one chunk man has to deal with forestry at one point or another. But to explain why that is and what I plan on doing about it, I'm gonna try to teach you about forestry in the most efficient way possible, so strap in for some speedy education. Forestry at its core is a way to make woodcutting, a typically one-click AFK skill, more engaging. It does this by letting the players complete forestry events, which are basically short minigames that have a chance to appear randomly while chopping a tree. Completing these events gives rewards both in XP and items, which for a one chunk man creates a long list of chunk tasks to obtain all of them. So simple enough. You chop some trees, eventually spawn an event, complete the minigame, and get a reward. There you go, shortest forestry explanation ever. But why am I bringing this up? Well, there's a lot more to forestry, but the 3 things you need to know right now are: 1, you need a forestry kit to spawn forestry events, which I can get in either of these 2 chunks. 2, once I have a kit, I'm required to gather every forestry item, including these 3 extremely rare RNG items: the fox whistle, golden egg, and petal garland. And 3, because of this, forestry can take hundreds of hours of woodcutting, which I'll already be doing in this chunk. Okay, so you get all of that, but if I can't get a kit, I can't spawn events, so why am I telling you any of this? Well, forestry was designed as a social minigame, meaning they envisioned players chopping trees together and helping each other complete events. So, while I might not be able to spawn forestry events myself, I can complete events spawned by other players and get the normal rewards. though most of them are locked behind the same chunks as the forestry kit, with the exception of the rare items I mentioned before. So while forestry isn't a required part of my chunk, this is a way that I can get ahead on a massive grind down the line. But it is going to take some seriously good luck if I want to see any of the 3 super rare forestry items, which would be by far the biggest step towards completing this future mega grind. So I'm going to add these 3 items as optional chunk tasks that we can passively work on as we get through these current grinds. We got the whole squad at the Willows right now doing some forestry. A lot of different ways to do this wood cutting. There's tick manipulation, forestry, AFK. I actually kind of like it for that reason. This has got to be my best fletching XP per hour by far. This event absolutely rocks. Okay, so this is the Fox event, which is one of the 3 super important events, the ones that have a chance to give the mega rare RNG items. They say the rate of getting a Fox whistle from this event is like a 1 in 45 chance at best, and if it wasn't clear, these events are not common. There's 9 possible events, and you get them at a rate of about a few an hour. So yeah, if I see any of the rare items, I will be amazed. So I just hit 73 fletching, which is officially 1/4 of the way
Congratulations.
to 87. So
What do you need?
25% done.
Congrats.
87,
Huge.
This one is one that scales to the amount of people around. I feel like it's like at least half the people have to like focus on it, which is why I think you guys should handle it. I'm just gonna stand over here.
Wow.
You know you
This
get
one's
part
good
for
if you
like
guys do
every.
your part. You know.
No, what the? I misclicked and ran into a Zoger chunk.
Common chunk Yanille blunder.
I wasn't looking.
Delete the account.
Yeah, restart. All right, hold on. Roll that back for a second. Do you see what I did wrong? I have the bank chest marked so I can easily click it from here, but I guess there's a tree right behind it, which I must have misclicked by like 1 pixel. And then I looked away as I ran to the bank, which I had done about a million other times. And yeah, the rest is history. I guess we're just unlocking every music track ever now. Guess what, guys? We got another Wizard Tower Spade step, and we still only have one of the other steps.
Are you just planning to juggle those infinitely till you get a spade?
I don't know. Depends on what the next chunk is.
You sound so defeated when you said that.
So I'm doing forestry with friends and tick manipulating at the same time. And I forgot to mention another added benefit of forestry, which is that the more players up to a certain number, I believe it's 10, chopping the tree adds an invisible woodcutting level boost per person. So that is a 10 woodcutting level boost with all the people chopping the tree, which just increases the speed of this as well. Forestry has many added benefits. Yes! Yes, 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 yes! Dude, yes, yes! Whoa! We got the freaking egg, dude! That is one of the mega rare RNG items. That's a chunk task complete. Woo! Yes, this is why we did this. Yes, this is why we did this. Oh, 1 out of 3. Yeah, that's right. 1 out of 3. We've been doing forestry events all day, and oh yes, I really wanted this egg, dude. I not only wanted this egg for the future chunk task, but I haven't even told you what this item actually does. It and the fox whistle are both cosmetic items that can be used on the beaver pet, which I somehow have. I mean, it was literally like a 1 in 287,000 chance to get. Anyway, this egg, when you use it on the beaver, it turns into this. Oh, and get this crazy looking freaking pheasant pet, dude. I think it looks so weird and good, dude. It really looks to me like old, and I love that.
Man looks disturbed.
He walks so goofy, dude. Oh, it's so funny. I love this thing. And there's 84 wood cutting right after too. Man, we are making such good progress on this grind. Almost 3 million wood cutting XP, 74 fletching. Things are feeling good. I wonder how my pheasant pet will feel about this. Sorry to slay your brethren, but I needed level 7 Slayer. He's back for round 2. Do I even do this one this time? I guess I may as well. See if we can get another egg. I've got to say this Dryad event is probably my least favorite of all of the forestry events, as it just involves standing still, which not a huge fan of. But I guess it is nice that it just gives you a huge drop of XP at the end. Whoa, I don't know if I've ever seen 2 clue nests spawn on the same tile, and one of them is, of course, the same beautiful clue that I can't do. my god, how am I? Blah, what? That is the petal garland acquired. No way, I was just complaining about this. We are so early on to this grind and we're already 2 out of 3. No way. Well, now I don't have to do my least favorite forestry event ever again. We now have this very interesting looking petal garland. This is a cosmetic item, it doesn't have any bonuses, but it is quite fun looking. I like it. But yeah, that is 2 out of the 3 collection log slots for forestry done. Just one more of the fox whistle and we are good. I honestly can't even describe to you how good it feels to be taking down these massive grinds from future chunks. This really has me excited to roll in the future. All right, I just got this clue scroll in Sears Village and I am honestly just hoping to go there next. So I know it's hopeful, but I'm gonna keep it. Every clue that I decide to keep makes clue juggling take just a little bit longer. So having a huge stack of them on the ground really isn't ideal. Also, I guess I haven't really showed you how I juggle my clues, but one of my favorite games has become the clue juggle dance, seeing if I can perfectly pick up and drop my clues without losing any ticks. And one more level before I go to bed here, 76 fletching. Here's what the XP looks like from today. I've been trying to get over 100k per day, which takes quite a long time. What you see here is probably 7 to 8 hours of work, depending on how much attention I'm paying. But yeah, the goal now is 100k XP per day. That should put me on track to get this video out to you. So if you're seeing it, I probably did that. 77 fletching, 78 fletching. Wow.
78 fletching, one of the most important levels.
Another easy clue scroll in Sears Village. I hope this is a sign. We're gonna get Sears Village. I really want to go there. I'll save this one too. And there is 87 wood cutting. Take a look at this number up here, 3,972,000 XP. That's what we're gonna need our fletching XP to look like by the time we're done here. We are currently at a little less than 2 million XP away from that number, so quite a ways to go still. I've got a lot of grinding ahead of me still, and all this AFKing has given me plenty of time to look ahead at the possible upcoming chunks, so I thought I might give you a bit of a more detailed look ahead at what our next chunk roll could hold. There are 17 chunks in total, so I'm just going to quickly go through each of them. Chunk number 1 is the Observatory. There are basically no objectives for this chunk. It mainly contains a quest I can't complete. Chunk number 2 is a lot like the previous one. Some quest progress, but otherwise no real grinds. However, both of these chunks border what is easily my biggest chunk in terms of immediate power upgrade. The Arania Altar chunk. This place not only has a melee weapon upgrade, but enemies here drop the bowstrings I need to make some super powerful range weapons. And there's a good chance we are really going to need some good range weapons in the future, as you're about to see. So this chunk gets a gold star from me. Chunk number 3 is the Monastery. This chunk is terrifying. It rolls me toward the death chunks just north of it, both of which would be horrendously long. These chunks get skulls. Chunk number 4 is even worse, being a direct link to my absolute biggest death chunk, the East Ardoin chunk, which has a 90 agility requirement. If I roll this, well, let's just hope I don't. Chunk 5. This is the final of the original Yanille adjacent chunks to be rolled. This would be fine. It has no real tasks, links to other chunks, and it unlocks a medium clue step. Chunk number 6. This is the closest thing that I have to a currently rollable death chunk. You may not understand if you're not familiar with the chompy bird hunting mini game, torture machine, I don't know what to call it. The quick version is this. I'd have to catch a toad, inflate it, place it on the ground, wait for a bird to show up, kill it with arrows I have to craft by hand, and do all that 4,000 times. So yeah, we don't want this chunk. It gets a skull. Chunk 7 is a free roll with no tasks. Very nice. Chunk 8. Now, I have to make a correction. Last episode, somebody told me I couldn't get into this chunk's cool cave with Ogress Shamans who have lots of unique upgrades for me, but they were wrong. I tested it on another account and I can in fact go into the cool cave with Ogress Shamans. So I would love this chunk. Gold star. Chunk 9 contains absolutely nothing, free roll. Chunk 10 is required for my lifelong dream of completing a very simple early game quest that takes about 15 minutes for anyone else to complete, unless their name is Alien Food. Otherwise, no tasks. Gold star. Chunk 11 has no tasks and none of the chunks it connects to have tasks, so this whole area of the map is free. Moving over to the other side of the map, these chunks all connect to Yanille's Wizard Guild portals. Chunk 12 is Draenor Village, one of the areas that unlock forestry. There are definitely some grinds associated with this chunk, and it's why I needed to get a head start on forestry now. Not quite a death chunk, not quite an easy chunk, but it would definitely take some time. Chunk 13. Oh, chunk 13. On its own, this area doesn't present much of a challenge, but it connects to two of the greatest challenges this account will have ever seen. To the north is Taverley Dungeon, filled with high-level enemies with insanely rare drops, a high-level agility grind, and tons of cool upgrades. To the east, Falador holds the Giant Mole, an insanely tedious boss best killed with ranged, which I don't have yet. So you can see why a ranged weapon is such a high priority for me. Both of these chunks get a skull. The last bunch of chunks are around the newly unlocked Sorcerer's Tower. These 4 chunks present quite a lot of interesting options. Chunk 14 is Catherby Docks. With no tasks, it's a free unlock, and it contains a bank, which would be great to have over here. Chunk 15. There are no big chunk tasks here, however, this starts rolling me towards the death chunks from the other direction, increasing the likelihood I eventually roll East Ardoin, so ideally we don't roll this one. Chunk 16 is the Range Guild. Because of my no skill capes rule outlined in episode 1, this place would be a godsend, giving me access to amazing ranged weapons and armor. So far, I've had to smith all my own ranging supplies, so this would literally change everything. Gold star here for sure. And chunk 17. Save the best one for last, Sears Village. This place fixes so many things for me, most notably the agility grind that makes my death chunks so deathy. Sears Village rooftop agility is one of the best ways to train in general, so I would love that. It also has a spinning wheel where I can turn the nearby flax into bowstrings, giving me access to the ranged weapons I haven't been able to string. Beyond that, this chunk also has forestry, so it comes with its own challenges. Easily the most well-rounded chunk out of the bunch. I would love to roll here. Gold star. Oh yeah, and any chunk that rolls me towards a spade, which are found in these chunks, gets bonus points. Someday I'll get to dig through this stack of clues. Someday. Yo, and there is a big level 80 fletching. We can make magic short bows, which is an iconic and amazing weapon in this game. Obviously, we're still missing the bowstring, so we can't actually make it yet, but soon. And on top of that, if you know your RuneScape math, you know that XP doubles every 7 levels, so 80 is the halfway point between where we started and the goal of 87. Bruh, another one. 2 golden peasant eggs, and I still don't have the fox whistle. That's so funny. There we go, look at it. The egg in the bank. Just another one for good measure. I realized that there's something I should absolutely do, which is make this magic short bow. Yes, dude, look at that. Oh, half a magic short bow. Man, if I do end up getting access to bowstrings, this is going to be such a massive upgrade for me. So much stronger than literally every other weapon I've ever had on this account. That would be so cool if I can use this one of these days.
Cheesy.
Look, I just refuse to believe this is coincidence. I refuse to believe this. This is just statistically improbable. Look at this. 16 beginner clues, now 17. All of them are this step, except for 1. How is it possible that I got 16 of the same step before I get 2 of another? That just seems statistically improbable. That's all I'm saying. 81 fletching. Also just noticed that we are over 40,000 willow longbows. Damn, that is crazy. It may not look like it, but I am panicking right now. If you can't tell why, it may be because I moved the clue juggling timer plugin, the thing that's counting down the 1-hour timer until my clues disappear. I've got over 20 clues on the ground, and if this thing hits 0, they're all gone. This is the downside to clue juggling. You forget to reset them just one time, and that's it. Game over. If I'd been looking away for another minute or two, if I was distracted or like walked away from my computer or something, I would have lost all the progress I've made toward clues in the last 100 hours. This is a really good angle. I should probably say something here, make some sort of joke. Completing yet another Prison Pete random event. What do we get? Oh, look at what I just got. Some Snappy D, baby. Let's go. 82 fletching, 5 levels to go. We can now make amethyst arrows. If that was a thing, that would be really cool, but it's not. You guys want to be in the video, by the way? In the YouTube video?
Yes?
Level 90 wood cutting.
Let's go.
Wow, that's a high level.
That is a high level.
Second skill in the 90s.
Yeah, let's go.
Huge milestone.
Huge. I have never dropped the raw fish-like thing for the Evil Bob random event, and I gotta say, looks pretty wild on the ground. It's a lot bigger than I was picturing it being. That just kind of adds like another layer of disturbing to this whole thing. 83 fletching. Every single level takes multiple days at this point. I'm not even thinking about this in terms of levels anymore. I'm thinking about it in terms of days or weeks. A level is no longer something I can even really plan around. Oh my god, that's it. That's it. That's the clue scroll I've been looking for. And genie at the same time? What is this luck? Finally, I have 2 beginner clue steps that I can do. Really just goes to show the old adage is true. If at first you don't succeed, just complain. But that just means that we now only need 1 more doable beginner clue and we get a guaranteed casket. Oh boy, there's a big level 91 woodcutting. Woodcutting is now officially my highest level stat, tied with cooking from the fishing trawler saga. It truly just is the fate of every one chunkman to get a ridiculously high woodcutting level at some point. One thing that's been bugging me as I do this grind is that I'm doing the whole thing here at Castle Wars and basically not at all in the new chunk. I think the Sorcerer's Tower chunk has not been given nearly enough screen time, so let's do some fun Sorcerer's Tower facts. Did you know that the Sorcerer's Tower was around in RuneScape Classic? Not only that, but the magic portal that led me here from the Wizards Guild in Yanille existed then too. But it was missing one of its most iconic features, the 4 magic trees out front. These were added at some point in RuneScape 2, and for many years it was the premier place to go to chop magic trees, with 4 being the most in any one location in the game. The Sorcerer's Tower has one other main purpose, if you can call it that, and that is the service provided by the titular Sorcerer of the Tower, a guy known as Thormac. He's got a cool unique staff that you can't get in the game, and if you do his quest, he'll turn your battle staves into mystic staves. Now, a lot of people have encountered both battle staves and mystic staves, but do you actually know the difference? I mean, battle staves kind of have their function written into the name. They're both for casting magic and battling, aka melee combat. So they have a lot of melee attack bonuses over a normal staff. But what about the mystic version? These staves are pretty much just an upgraded version of battle staves with +2 magic bonus, some more attack bonus, and wait, 15 strength bonus? Yeah, it turns out that mystic staves are actually a really solid melee weapon, about on par with a rune longsword. But if you want a mystic staff from Thormac, it's gonna cost you to upgrade your battle staff. How much is it gonna cost? Well, according to this changelog, if you asked him prior to April 21st, 2016, he'd tell you that it would cost Tosting coins. What is Tosting coins? I have no idea, but the thought of it was baffling me so much that I had to ask the OSRS Wiki team, who informed me that this was most likely a misspelling of the programming function toString, which turns a numeric value into text. Imagining Thormac telling you he'd enchant your staff for Tosting coins still has me cracking up thinking about it even now. And there you go, Sorcerer's Tower fun facts. There we go. 84 fletching, just 3 levels to go. Yes, we're so close, and yet so far we still have about 1,000,000 XP to go. Oh, yes, dude, yes! Oh, it's taken way too long. But there it is, the 3rd clue. Finally, we can get a guaranteed beginner casket, and look at this, 3 million fletching XP. It's taken 3 million fletching XP to finally get this 3rd doable beginner clue step. Oh, I'm so happy. Yes, let's go get that casket. This could be legitimately game-changing. Hopping over to a chunk I haven't been to in quite a while, the Wizard's Tower, to turn in these clues. There's an added bonus to beginner clues, which is that they can be as few as 1 step, so I may get a casket from this singular clue. That could mean more caskets before we're done here, but let's see what happens. Well done, please show me a 1-step casket. Oh, yes, dude, the 1-step casket, yes! That is so good. That is the best case scenario. Oh my god. Okay, let's open this bad boy up. As a reminder, there are so many good things to come out of this clue, but the best thing by far would be a bow. I just need to know that I'm gonna have access to the range skill in the future. That would be by far the best thing to get out of here. So let's see what we get. Here we go. Please something good. Please. No, dude, no. 13 noted cabbages. Oh. Getting cabbages are especially bad because that means I rolled the unique table, but instead of something unique, I got cabbages. Oh, that is so disappointing. That is rough. I guess that is kind of a fair thing to get out of a one-step beginner clue. I'm glad I didn't have to use up all 3 of my clues for that. But I suppose that means that it is back to waiting for another one of those steps before we can guarantee another casket. I'm not gonna use the last 2 I have on the ground there. So back to the grind, 13 cabbages richer.
There's not a single moment tonight you're going to want to miss.
That's right, but before we dive into all of the Bazinga reveals...
Oh my god! Another one in the middle of the Summer Summit. Blessed Summer Summit RNG for the 3rd clue step. Again, let's go. It took hundreds of hours to get the first 3 of these clues, and then we get another one back to back. This has got to be fate. Let's go see. Can we get something better than 13 cabbages? Let's see what happens. All right, yep, another clue. No problem. Let's teleport to Castle Wars and bring another clue here. We do have a guaranteed casket no matter how many clues it takes. Okay. Here we go. This could be the clue. Very high likelihood it is. Let's see. Well done. Yes! Oh, we get to keep a clue. Yes, that's what I wanted to see. Let's go take a look. Okay, yes. Another shot. Please, just something I can use. Something I can equip. A unique would be amazing, but once again, I just need to know that after all of this fletching, we're gonna have a ranged weapon going into the next chunk. So please show me something good. Let's do this. Yes! Yes, 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 dude, finally! Oh my god, nobody has ever been this excited about a regular short bow before ever in this game. Dude, I have a bow. I fletched and I have a bow. Yes, yes! It is so weak. It is so weak, but you know what? It's a bow. It shoots arrows. We can attack with the ranged skill in the future. Hell yes. Hell yes. It really is poetic that after so long playing this account, literally thousands of hours, we finally get a bow, finally have unlocked the range skill, and it was all because of fletching in the end in a weird roundabout way. Now, you may be thinking, what's so good about a bow if you don't have arrows? And you would be right. But at the same time, you would also be forgetting the greatest shop in the Gnome Maze. It's the greatest mainly because it is the only shop in the Gnome Maze. Let me introduce you to Bulkoi's Village Shop, and yes, right there, 30 bronze arrows for 1 coin apiece. Look at that. A bow, arrows. We can do range, literally game changing. I'm about to do something I have never been able to do. Shoot an arrow. Let's go. Oh, that feels so good, dude. Over a year into the account, and we have reliable access to all 3 styles of combat. It's taken so long. So long. Come here, you. Yeah, 1 shot. Let's go. This truly is the motivation I have needed to finish this grind up. Feeling so good, so ready to roll whatever is in the future. Any chunk, I know we can handle it. We've got a bow. We've got infinite arrows. Well, maybe not infinite, but a lot of arrows. I'm ready to do this. Another huge milestone, 85 fletching. We can make magic longbows. That is such a huge level. Look at this magic longbow. Oh, that's so good, man. Just 2 more levels to go. We got this. Home stretch. Oh my goodness. 92 woodcutting. Woodcutting is officially my highest level skill there. And we all know the meme. Finally halfway to 99. Oh my god. This is the step. This is the step. No way. No freaking way, dude. This is the step. I'm not gonna explain exactly what this clue step means right now, but there is some potential use for this one specific clue step in the future. So you can go ahead and try and think about what that might mean. And 1, more log for level 93 of woodcutting. It is ridiculous how high this woodcutting level is. I feel proud of myself for getting this far. 86 fletching, one more level. Let's do this. You're not gonna believe what I just found in this mystery box. A cabbage. Random cabbage is back, baby. He's here for the end. He wanted to come back. We're so close to being done. I knew I could trust you, random cabbage. Okay, I honestly really was not expecting to see another one of these before we're done here, but we're back to 2 clues. We are so close. Literally 150k XP away. Is there a chance for a 3rd casket? It feels genuinely surreal to stand here and craft my final inventory of bows. I can't describe to you how big an impact this grind has had on my life. I have never played this much RuneScape in such a short period, ever, and now it's coming to an end. And there we go, 87 fletching. It's over. Feels like I'm graduating from school or quitting a job or something. Committing 6 to 8 hours of your life to fletching every single day, turns out that's kind of a big challenge. This has been the singular longest grind in the history of the account, and now it's finally done. I'm free. Let's fletch this magic shield and complete the final chunk task. There it is, the magic shield, new best in slot for magic defense, and man, it just looks cool. I'm gonna wear this as a badge of honor, and that's the chunk complete. It feels so good, man. To wrap this up, let me give you some final stats. All in all, this chunk took about 320 hours to complete everything, and I gained over 12 million total XP. I fletched 81,622 willow longbows. I also ended up with a ton of bird nests and ring nests, which I haven't opened yet, but I'm sure will be super useful in future chunks. And as a final update on the clues, I have 26 Wizard Tower Spade beginner clues and 2 Cedrador clues left over. I'm convinced that this has to have some sort of mathematical backing because those numbers just don't make sense. Oh, and here's a fun stat. As far as juggling clues goes, if I reset my clues every 45 minutes for 320 hours, that means I had to reset my clues about 420 times. Let's say each reset took 60 seconds, which is a very conservative estimate. That would mean I spent a minimum of 7 hours juggling clues in total, but the real number is likely closer to 10 hours. Still, it was absolutely worth it because we are walking out of this chunk a changed man. I've permanently unlocked the range skill thanks to those clues. I would love to show you where we're going next, but I don't even know yet, as I'm literally recording this the day before the video goes live. So instead, if you're watching this as it comes out, I'll be going live tomorrow, Friday, September 20th at 3 p.m. CST over on Twitch to roll the next chunk. Follow me there or join my Discord for a ping when I go live. If you're watching this later, well, you're just gonna have to subscribe to find out where the adventure is going next. Until then, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.